This is Sam from Uniondale, and you're tuning into another edition of the Sam I Analyze Show. Folks, trouble in paradise. First it was Mikal Bridges, and now you have a clip of Tom Thibodeau and Josh Hart going at it. The question I have, is Tom Thibodeau's job in jeopardy? Let's analyze. The Knicks lost another nationally televised game, folks. And to add more salt to the wound, there's a clip out there and Tom Thibodeau yelling at Josh Hart. And when I watched it a few times, and it looks like Josh Hart is they're having an exchange, but it looked like Tom Thibodeau was doing more of the yelling. Am I wrong? Tom Thibodeau was doing more of the yelling there, and he wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. See, if you're going to address a situation, Tom Thibodeau, what have you, you better be balling and have some credibility. Now, Josh Hart is Tom Thibodeau's one of his favorites. I stand by that. With Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart is one of his favorites. No question about it. One of his favorite players, probably one of his all-time favorite players to coach. I stand by it. I really do. I think that's one of the guys that he trusts. But, it's unfortunate. The Knicks were, I think when you look at what happened, I think there was a lot of frustration from the players and Tom Thibodeau that we're about to lose another nationally televised game. What do the Knicks have? The Knicks have about, 15 games to go or something like that? I mean, there's reason to be concerned. There's reason to be stressed at this point. Every single time the Knicks get on a nationally televised stage, it's a loss. It seems like it at this point. I mean, they lose more than they win. They lose more than they win. So when you look at it, let's analyze the standings. When you look at it, the Knicks are third, and the Knicks are, quick math. The Knicks are 60, how many games in? 66 games in. 66 games in and 16 games to go. Now ask the question, you saw what happened. You saw Tom Thibodeau. I thought Tom Thibodeau was checking Josh Hart. That's my interpretation of the clip. But what say you, Knicks fan? What did you see? I saw Tom Thibodeau saying, this is not happening. Okay? The Mikal Bridges quote-unquote meeting that we quote-unquote had, and then Josh Hart on national television, this ain't happening. That's what I saw. I saw Tom Thibodeau saying, listen, man, you're not playing well. You're not playing like Josh Hart, and we're losing because of it. So get your head in the game. That's what that's what I saw. So for those of you asking, is Tom Thibodeau's job in jeopardy? The guy's 42-24. Yeah, the Knicks are 5-5 in their last 10. But are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now? Over 20 games, over 500? The guy, to me, let me tell you something. Tom Thibodeau's job is not in trouble. Tom Thibodeau, as much as, and I've been tough on Tom Thibodeau. He doesn't make adjustments. He's got to go in-game adjustments anyway. Enough to my liking, but I don't think he's going anywhere. I really don't. Who are you going to get instead of Thomas Thibodeau? Who? I told you already when the Knicks were interviewing for that job, I wanted the Knicks to get Kenny Atkinson, and look what he's doing with Cleveland. But okay, that's neither here nor there. Who would you get? That's the first question I have. So I want to know in the comments, who would you rather have? And two, Tom Thibodeau has allies. He has allies with this team. He's got Leon Rose. I watched the Roommates podcast. It looks like I think Mr. Dolan has his back. And I call him Mr. Dolan. I used to work out there in Jericho. And it's just a force of habit and respect to the Chief Don Dada. I think that's what he said on the Roommates podcast. I thought it was a great interview. I think it's a great show, the Roommates podcast. But, yeah, I don't think Tom Thibodeau's going anywhere. And you know why? Because I said he's got allies. He's got allies in the organization. The New York Knicks upper management in Leon Rose. And quiet is kept. The superstars have his back. Karl Anthony Towns and El Capitan Jalen Brunson. So until you hear Jalen Brunson talking, and that's not, look, listen, in that interview, Mr. Dolan asked him, do you think we need to make moves to the roster, something to that effect? And I think Jalen Brunson was really put on the carpet to answer that question. And what was he supposed to say to the owner? Even if the Knicks need to make changes, I mean, I would say I would want more bench production, but he's not going to say that. And you saw how that interview was a little different to me. It was, usually you see them, a little more chill, but it looked like they were more, this is the boss here, so we've got to tread lightly. That's what I saw. But until Jalen Brunson, if Jalen, I saw something, the Villanova crew and all that. No, listen. Jalen Brunson is there. He's the captain. He's the man. He's the Knicks superstar. Okay. Josh Hart has also said, basically, look, man, it's whatever. And Fred Katz, I saw this, and I wanted to bring this up on New York basketball. Fred Katz says, there was a clip, he asked Tom Thibodeau, there was a clip, you and Josh kind of exchanging words. Tibbs responds, yeah, I love Josh. You guys know that. Just whatever can get us going, just try to get us going. Katz, just a passionate moment. And then Tibbs grinned. Yeah, that's it. I didn't see any disrespect on Josh's end. I think this is Tibbs' dream job. And I mentioned Jalen Brunson before. Jalen Brunson's father is the associate head coach. Tibbs not going anywhere. And I'm gonna tell you something. And this is from games that I've gone to. I had to pull these out. Tibbs, Knicks. It says New York Knicks forever. New York forever. I don't know if that shows. New York forever. And for this Knicks team, with 16 games to go, and the Knicks did get bad news last night that it looks like Jalen Brunson may be out until the end of May. I mean, all right, whatever, 14 days or whatever into April. Rest, Captain, rest. Get that ankle good and ready to go so you can get at the opposition when it counts in the playoffs. Rest. I'm not worried about that Jalen Brunson. And then earlier today I read, or this afternoon, that 1 to 2 weeks rest, get that ankle right. I wish a guy like Karl Anthony Towns could get his injuries right, but that's not, like I said, I stand by it. I think it's going to take the off season. And the other towel, keep fighting. Keep fighting. Keep fighting. That's what the Knicks have to keep doing, man. As you saw, if you watched the Roommates podcast, that interview with Mr. Dolan, it seems like they are dug in, and this is the team. Now, I'll tell you one thing that I'm seeing in the absence of Jalen Brunson, the lack of leadership on the floor. Now, Deuce is the starter. He had 19 points yesterday. And he had 19 points, and he was a +3, but he only had 4 assists. Josh Hart had 7 assists, but gave you zero on the points, and he had 7 rebounds. Josh Hart was awful yesterday, by the way, or against the Warriors. He was awful. And that's why Tom Thibodeau got at him. And he has to own it. And that's why, by the way, the Knicks bench has been lousy. Precious Achiuwa, what happened to Precious in 10 minutes? 0. He was a -3. And the Knicks only had 4 points off the bench. And here's the deal, y'all. The Knicks have 2 key components, 2 key cogs in their bench rotation that they're starting right now. I've always said I think Josh Hart is going to come off the bench, and Deuce, obviously, once Brunson is back, will come off the bench, and that will fortify the bench. But I think you will eventually see, the way it's sounding, Mitchell Robinson, who also looked like he was out of it yesterday. Out of it. Mitch was, I was going to say useless, but he gave 2 points. He was a +4, and he had 5 rebounds. So the Knicks are still working things out. They got to keep fighting, y'all. They just have to keep fighting. This is not a big deal. Okay, the Mikal Bridges thing, the Josh Hart thing, not a big deal. And I don't see who's going to replace Tibbs. Budenholzer for Phoenix? You see what's going on over there? Who's gonna replace Tibbs? Mavericks are gonna let Jason Kidd go. You want Jason Kidd? You see what's going on with the Mavericks? They're waiting for the other piece of Voltron, Kevin Durant. Oh, that's likely what's gonna happen this summer. Kevin Durant's going to the Mavericks. In my opinion, that's why he hit up Steph Curry and said, me going back to Golden State, nah, I'd rather go play with Kyrie. He didn't say that, but read the tea leaves. So, yeah, folks, I don't think Tom Thibodeau's job, over 20 games, over 500 and all this stuff, yeah, you would want to see the Knicks win more games on national TV and all this, but the injuries, the bench, I think it's all going to figure itself out. I really do. But the Knicks have 16 games to figure it out. 16 games to figure it out. 8 wins. I mean, if they can split the 16, you win 8 games, that's a 50-win season. I think they would have won more if Jalen Brunson didn't get hurt. I mean, I thought this team was going to win 52 to 55 games. Can they do it? Possibly. But right now, there is to me, one thing that's glaring since Brunson went out is the lack of a closer and the lack of in crunch time, floor leadership. And you can't replace a guy who was top 5 in the MVP, voting last year. A guy, in my opinion, that if he came back and he didn't get hurt, he would be top 5 in the MVP voting again. But what say you, Knicks fan, NBA fan? What's the reason for the Knicks struggles right now? What do you want to see the Knicks do? Is Tibbs' job in trouble? Is my take? What do you think? Let me know. Now it's that time. It's that time. March Madness. One shining moment in the men's tournament. Auburn, Duke, Houston, and Florida are the top seeds. St. John's got a 2 seed. which was well-deserved. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in, folks. I am on most social media platforms at SamIAnalyze. Please like, share, subscribe, and you see that notification bell to the right. Please click on that. That will let you know the next time I drop another video. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, à tout à l'heure. What?